There are a lot of episodes on George Lopez that where Benny hurts George, and sometimes it's sarcasm, sometimes it's insults, or sometimes it's just Benny being Benny. This time, though, George finds out that two of the biggest people in his life are hiding a secret from him. Secret is so big that honestly, I'm not sure how George moved past this. It's not to mention the fact that there is money involved that was actually Georges. See, this episode is not about old memories, it's about ownership. It's about how crazy it is that Benny is able to steal from George when he's a kid, spend some of it, hand back half of it, and then still come up and show up and pretend that she's the hero that set them up for life. And honestly, Angie doesn't come clean either. While Benny is the bigger villain in the story, Angie's hands aren't clean. She plays a huge role in this betrayal, though that betrayal is not Benny level. It's still pretty huge and it's still betrayal. So let's talk about George takes a stroll down memory lane. The episode where George goes digging through his past only to find out that Angie and Benny have a secret so big that it literally changes his whole life perspective. But before we do that, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like. If you guys have an episode you guys want me to cover, let me know down below. Tell me how you are doing in the comments, and let's get on with the video.
There was this box in the garage that I've been throwing trash into for years. Turns out it's full of stuff from when you were a kid.
Right away, the episode sets the tone.
Oh my God, Mom, my first baseball glove. What's up? Hey, batter, what's up?
George is not lovingly being handed a box of memories from when he was a kid.
George, some people say that memories are priceless. I disagree. I'll give you the whole box for $1,200.
Benny wants money for it. For George, these are pieces of his past, his memories, but for Benny, this is just a little side hustle where she can get some money. And a lot of people don't really think much of it because it's just Benny being nasty the way that she is. But wow, it's just rough hearing that from your own mom.
What?
I lost some money at the track. I can't pay my bills.
No, Mom, that's your own fault. I'm gonna pay you for my childhood memories?
You see, Benny is treating George's life like something that she can monetize and make profit off of. His memories are not sacred. His childhood is not his. His whole past has a price tag on it. And George's past is already terrible as it is. Imagine the only few good things that you had in life being sold to you by your own mom. This is such a Benny move, but it also tells you that George never really got to own his life the way that he wanted to.
All right. I'll just throw this stuff out.
Fine. I don't care.
Really? 'Cause you used to love me.
Even the little scraps of his former self had to pass through Benny first.
Mr. Bear Bear?
She already took one eye for her dress.
So over the next few days, George starts going through all of his memories in the box that Benny brings over. Now, somewhere down low, Benny and Angie are having talks about Angie giving money to Benny. And apparently this has been going on for years where Benny tells Angie, if you don't give me money, I'm going to tell George.
You better figure out a way, or I'm going to tell George our little secret. And I'm not bluffing this time. Benny, what? You swore you wouldn't. I wonder how mad George is going to be when he finds out that you lied to him for 16 years. Let's see.
And it sucks because Angie's literally getting blackmailed by Benny, but she cannot come clean because of what has happened in the past. We'll get to that.
Where else am I going to get $1,000?
Always do this to me. I can't help you this time. It's too much money.
So of course Angie caves and she ends up writing Benny a check for $1,000.
Oh, George!
I'll get you the money somehow. Just don't say anything.
George clearly doesn't agree with this because Angie and him made a plan to not be overspending.
No, I'm sorry.
Mom, it's the bank. Grandma's trying to cash that check you wrote her for $1,000.
So Angie does the most sensible thing, and that's to finally come clean.
If you're gonna hear this, I want you to hear it from me. There's a reason I lent your mom the money. I am really sorry about this.
Now you may be wondering, come clean about what? Well, see, George actually stood up to Benny right before he moved out of her house.
Clean it up, stupid!
George explains to Max and Carmen that when he first married Angie and Angie was pregnant with Carmen, he had to move in with Benny.
Well, when we first got married, we couldn't afford our own place.
You got married, but you still had to live with your mom? That's ghetto.
And it's because they had no money. And so after Angie realized that that life was rough for her, living with Benny specifically, Angie basically upped the stakes and told Benny, if you don't stop treating George like a kid, we will leave this house.
I hate the way you talk to him. He is gonna be a father and you still treat him like he's a child. Gotta get out of here.
Benny, of course, calls her bluff and tells her that George is not gonna go anywhere. But before it gets worse, Benny tells Angie that she will give her $5,000 so that she can go set up her life.
Okay, princess. Don't get your big girl panties in a bunch. I could give you some money so you could get a place in LA.
Angie, realizing that George is not going to take $5,000 just like that, lies to George about one of his songs selling to some famous artist. And so George is very proud of himself because the way that he leaves the house finally is by standing up for Angie.
Clean it up, stupid!
Did she make you cry? You know what? Sick of you treating Angie this way. We're out of here. From now on, I won't do anything for you and you don't do anything for me. Because Sasuke, I'm a man and I don't need anything from you anymore.
So Benny and Angie orchestrate this act where Benny is being super mean to Angie and making her cry, which makes George finally snap at Benny. Of course, he's gonna take care of his pregnant wife. So now that Angie comes clean to George, George feels completely confused and almost betrayed because him standing up to Benny is the moment that he felt he had become a man.
That day was the turning point of my life.
And he starts questioning literally everything about his life. It is at this moment that while he's going through his box of memories, he finds a card from his little league coach, and it is not some tiny amount. It is $10,000.
Did my little league coach really leave me $10,000 on his deathbed?
Someone left you $10,000?
Real belief in him, real support, a real gift, the kind of help that George absolutely needed when he was coming up.
No, I've never seen this card before. Georgie, I hope this $10,000 makes a difference in your life. I put the check in your mom's name because you're only 12, but it's your money.
George recalls this as being the week where Benny took him to Vegas in a new car, and he just has that realization that Benny spent his money.
It was the week my mom took me to Vegas in her new car. Oh no!
See, this is so foul because this is not Benny finding some whatever money, right? This is not Benny sacrificing money. This is Benny literally stealing from George when he was just a kid. It's theft, plain and simple.
Now that you know that I gave you money, you can start paying it back. In the memo, you can write, for being the bestest mommy.
To the most evil woman in the world who stole money from her own son!
And the reason this sucks is because Benny literally comes in the house telling George that I work 2 jobs so I can put food on the table and send you to college, and I've sacrificed so much for you. And you should be grateful for everything that I've done for you.
I found the card from Coach Trevino. Remember? You remember?
Now, I would really like to just stay on Angie for a tiny bit because it's easy to excuse her actions when you compare them to Benny's. But George trusting Angie is what makes this Benny dynamic a little more manageable and bearable throughout the years. So when George finds out the truth, it honestly hurts on a different level because George is supposed to trust his wife, but his wife has been hiding a huge secret. And honestly, it's a pattern because Vic had given her money as well for $10,000 just a few episodes earlier. Dude, Angie lies to George a little too much now that I think about it. At the end of the day, the episode's not just about a hidden $10,000, right? It's just about people managing George's life because they felt they knew better for him and then him. Benny steals from him, spends his money, and then hands off half of it, expecting to get full credit or be regarded as someone that was so sacrificing or even just a good mom. And I'll be honest, when I first watched this episode, I was like, damn, like Benny really saved up and helped him out. Come to find out, of course, that was too good to be true, right? And as for Angie, it literally just making George live in a lie for 16 years and only coming clean because Benny is terrible. This is why this episode is so strong. It's funny on the surface, but if you dig deep, it's brutal. It's mainly because George finds out that one of his main turning points as an adult was all built on deception. And that is the real pain of this episode. It's not that Benny stole or Angie lied to George. It is that George continues to understand that love in the family usually comes with a lie attached. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, let me know down below. Thank you all so much for your support. I will see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.
You just bought a kind word from your mom for $1,000.
Shut up.